family survivors. All right, so what do we do when our family is the GOAT of our healing from the sexual abuse? And I don't mean the greatest of all time. All right, hang with me and we'll drop some knowledge here in a moment. All right, so what do we do when our family is the GOAT of our healing from the sexual abuse? I was coaching a male survivor, and for him, one of the issues were family gatherings, the cookout or Thanksgiving, and that was because during that time, the actual perpetrator would actually be there in the same place in the same location with the one he had abused, and so it really made it difficult for him. The other individual that I was coaching for him, he had actually been made the scapegoat. So, because the sexual abuse had taken place within the family, and when he became an adult, he actually acknowledged it because he wanted to work through the issues. They actually cited him as being the problem for the issues and the conflicts that they were having, and why they couldn't all go on family vacations together, and how he was just creating upheaval and chaos by even talking about the abuse that had happened. So pretty much they were actually trying to silence him because they had these beliefs, these religious beliefs, that these things don't take place, of course, in those type of families. But the reality was that they did. All right. So you probably figure out right now when we're talking about GOAT, we're not talking about the greatest of all times. We're talking about what we do when our families are the greatest obstacles and they're adding trauma. And so they're re-traumatizing us, they're re-victimizing us. So in both situations, as we were coaching, and that's the cool thing I love about coaching because you get to be empowered to do the work. So first, they had to set boundaries. So the first individual, what we did as we coached and worked with him, he had to make the decision first of all, is this a safe environment for me to be? The cookout, the reunion, the Thanksgiving. And if not, if I make the decision to not be there, well, what am I going to say? And so what he simply did was he just said, "Hey, I'm not going to be whatever at this family reunion." And so when the family members started asking why, he just said, "Because at the family reunion, there's an individual there who molested me during childhood, and it's really uncomfortable for me to be in the same place with them." Now, the cool thing about his situation was the family then took it upon themselves to do the investigation to find out. And then what they did was they banned the individual from actually showing up at those family gatherings so that the survivor could actually be there so he could connect with family. Cool. So the first thing he did was he had to make the decision and he had to set some boundaries. Now, in the other situation, the survivor had to really pretty much come to the reality that, okay, the family pretty much they had a certain ideal of what they wanted their family to look like, but that wasn't reality. And because of that, because the abuse had taken place within the family, he had to realize that as long as they tried to hold that portrait, which was really a facade, that he was going to be the scapegoat. And then once again, he had to decide what boundaries he was going to put in place. So the number one thing is, first of all, when you're dealing with a family that's GOAT and they're the greatest obstacles, what you need to do is you want to set the boundaries. The second thing I'm just going to suggest, and what we did for both, is you just want to make sure that you have healthy, safe support. So whether that be through counselor, coach, whatever, someone that you can trust, someone that can give you competent help. All right, that's our little tip here. Remember, this is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And so that's kind of our tip for today. All right, Coach T, safe place for male survivors where we release the past, we embrace the future, and we get love and connection. 'We'll see you soon.